Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. But I'm going to get into this video here that proves, I've been looking for this video for a long time, for a minute, showing you how the J people, the Jewish people, the Edomites, feel about your so-called white Jesus and just in the Messiah in general, because they hate the true Messiah, which is a so-called black man. And his true name is Yahweh Shai. They don't believe in him. So everything that you've been taught in modern day Christianity is nothing but a ruse. It's a lie. It's a scam. Get into this video real quick. 1 second. Salakia.
Holy shit, we got some big breaking news. Now this is going to be for all of the commanders and leaders in the Iranian military. This rocket that you just shot right here, the one that almost hit the Wailing Wall, it missed by meters. So we're going to need you to reload that cannon immediately. And don't just load it with one rocket. So we want for the next 24 hours you divert all resources, all military arsenals, and direct them exactly where this rocket landed. Now hopefully you guys can be off, in the right direction, a few meters.
Yeah, I'm going to correct him real quick. That's not the Wailing Wall, which you probably do know this, but just to make it clear to the people that's watching this lesson, that's an Antonio Fort. And that's a whole nother lesson for a whole nother day. That's not the so-called, that's not a part of the temple. So let's keep going.
Meters that way, and you can do the world the greatest honor. Why they killed Jesus Christ was because they said, you know what, if he's a God.
And let me correct them again. The Messiah name ain't JC. His true name is Yahweh Shai, because when you say that J name, the so-called white boy image comes up, that's in everybody's mind, that's been sprinkled to all the world in modern day Christianity. Let's keep going.
God, then how can we kill him? You can't kill a God. That's what God's chosen people tell us. They mock us and humiliate us and laugh about how they killed Jesus Christ.
Wake up, you little idiot. You are worship a dead man that was killed by the Romans. They crucified him and he couldn't even save himself. You expect him to come and save you and save the world? After 2,000 years, you really that stupid? And then you come and say, oh, the Jews killed our God? How can you kill a God? You're not normal. Okay, so some goyim, they're waking up. Wait a minute. How am I was taught to believe in someone that was killed by people. Jews, non-Jews, it's not relevant. People killed him. If he was divine in any way, who can kill a divine creature?
Well, if they are gods.
Well, so you heard it for yourself. But I've been saying this for a year or two now, that the J people, the Jewish people, don't believe in the Messiah. So there's proof what I've been saying is true. And they look down on the Messiah, the true Messiah, but they even hate your so-called white Jesus. They hate that idol too. But that's not the Messiah. So let me get into some very important information. So by them tricking you and lying to you about this whole them being the people, right? That's how America supports Israel. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? Because Israel has pulled a blackmail operation through the Mossad and all these other means that they do to blackmail the politicians to get very incriminating evidence on them doing very compromising things and to make them do what they want them to do. So that's what the guy J.E. was doing. Read in between the line of what I'm saying. J.E. was running a blackmail operation. So let's go here. So the people don't know any of this. And you got the stupid Christians over here. They'll say pray for Israel because they just saying that because their pastor told them to say that. A Christian don't know anything. And I keep saying that. You'll see, you brothers that's new and you sisters that's new, you'll see what I'm saying is true. They don't know shit. And it might sound kind of harsh the way I'm saying it, but I'm only telling you the truth. Isaiah 60:2. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. It says, in gross darkness, the people. So Christians, they, are a cockroach no more than a Christian. And I'm being a little facetious, but I'm just saying that is how bad it is. A Christian don't know anything. They don't know nothing. Now, you might get your more advanced Christian that know a few scriptures here and there, but they don't know what the Bible is talking about. you tell them the whole Bible is about the Israelites, they're going to look at you like you got 8 heads because they mind so stupid and indoctrinated they can't come out the folly. It says, but Yahweh shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee with this precious truth. The truth is going to shine when it's all said and done. Right? So let's go here. I'm going to show you something. So this will make everything else make sense. How they was able to sell this concept, you know what I'm saying? Even put it in I forget this particular book that they put it in, you know. I forget, I can't think of it right now. So I'm gonna read this real quick. At the top, it says the Support Israel movement in American Christianity. Listen up to this, very important information. Known as Christian Zionism. It says originated in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, rooted in Protestant evangelical theology, specifically dispensationalism, which views the restoration of Israel as a requirement for the end times. It gained momentum via thinkers like William Blackstone and popularization through the Scofield Reference Bible. That's what I was trying to think of. The Scofield Reference Bible. So that's how they was able to orchestrate all this. I'm going to do a lesson to go into the Scofield Reference Bible and to make you, understand what's going on, especially you Christians that's outside the truth, because you Christians watch these lessons too. Check this out. It says, the first bulletin point, it says theological foundation. It says predating Jewish Zionism, 19th century British and American restorationists interpreted biblical prophecy to mean that the return of the Jewish people to Palestine, which would be Israel, was necessary for the second coming of Yahushua. That's what the lie that they told the stupid Christians over here. But come to find out, the Jewish Amalekites don't believe in your so-called white Jesus. They don't believe in the Messiah. That was all just an agenda, a propaganda, so you can be lost over here. And when the real Israelites go back home, the Lord will gather us all together, and will be all 12 tribes of Israel, not just one tribe. So that's something you got to understand as well. I'm going to keep reading on this. It says William Blackstone and Jay is coming. It says in 1878, American evangelical, and that's why all these so-called evangelical Christians are all effed up. William Blackstone published Jay is Coming. It says popularizing the idea that God gave the land to the Jews in 1891. That's a lie. That's a mother effing lie. But you see it. You see for what it is what it is. Matter of fact, let's go here. It gets real good. Scofield Reference Bible. And I even saw that on the Blue Letter when I was doing some studying. I saw that reference pop up. It says early 20th century Salakia by Cyrus Scofield solidified the theological linkage between the modern state of Israel and biblical prophecies, motivating many evangelicals to believe that supporting Israel is a direct command from God. Well, there you go. That's wild, yeah. But the truth is gonna prevail. So let's go here. So again, I'm gonna do a lesson in particular on that. So this is how this alliance works. Let me show you something with the military. It says a military alliance is a formal, legally binding treaty between two or more nations pledging mutual defense. So since the J people control and own America, what they have set up is a blackmail operation ring when they blackmail all the politicians and, AIPAC and all these other different Jewish entities to control the politicians in America, which they control the banking system, thus they control the politicians. They control what as money, so thus they control everything else. The J people, if that make any sense. It's only common sense. You got to connect the dots. So that's what's going on. And they have a major blackmail ring. Remember that word black is used, right? But it's used in a negative thing. That's why you need to stop calling yourself black people. That's a great curse. Let's go here. Let's go here. Yeah, Psalms, I want to get into this. Psalms 50 and 16. Let's go here. Get right into it. Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, who is the wicked? We should know who the wicked is by now. The Edomites. Starting at the tiny tops. On down to your Joe Smo 6-pack Edomite redneck clan member. It says, what thou hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth. So what the tiny tops did is took the Tara, claiming to be us, and said they was the people. That's a capital offense through the Lord's eyes. Let's go to 50 and 17. This is the book of Psalms 50 and 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction. So you got homo parades in Israel right now. They got some called kosher pork. When you can't make something clean that's filthy, that's a part of our law not to eat pork. So if you eat pork, you're a damn demon, or you might be ignorant of it. But that's a part of our law. And they actually got something called kosher pork. They do whatever they want to do. They run all the filth in the world. Use your imagination when I say filth, right? They control everything. They do everything opposite of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua book that they say that they believe in. They do the Sabbath based on Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. It's not based on that. It's based on the new moon. So everything they do is opposite of what the Lord set up. They're actually in Germany when they was where they come from, a lot of them, they actually had transgenderism going on there. That's where that stuff comes from. And it goes on and on. There's no one more perverse than Esau Edom. So everything that's wicked, they do. And what they do is they act like they're the people of the Bible, but they're not. But they've been exposed. And casting my words behind thee, they follow something called the Babylonian Talmud. The Bible, the Torah, however you want to say it, is just a prop. It's just an illusion to trick the people. Let's keep going. Psalms 50 and 18. Well, that's all I needed out of that. Let's go here. So you Christians over here are dumb. You have been found out to be ignorant of what you believe in. Because you got a lot of these gun-ho Christians over here. They don't know a fucking thing about the Bible. It says, can two walk together except they agree? They be agreed? Is a rhetorical question from the Bible, implying no. It signifies that partnership, fellowship, and shared progress requires mutual agreement. So you Christians been saying support Israel, putting your, so-called money to support Israel. And now, they got this military alliance. That's why none of this stuff is questioned. But why is it like this? Because they push this false doctrine on the American Christianity to get the people all brainwashed and indoctrinated with this false ideology. But hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakak, Kodash. Shalom.